It's always wonderful to have the chairman of the board of the Wayne County Commissioners in the studio with us. We welcome Mr. Steve Keene.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
It's great out there this morning coming in.
It is. It's November 1st.
It is.
It is. What a great time of year.
It's the beautiful out there, the colors on the trees.
Yeah.
It's always beautiful to see those colors.
And this, of course, the beginning of November. We're beginning the holiday season, if you will, Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the other holidays. And the first thing you know, you mentioned to me off the air a few moments ago that the first thing you know, it's going to be New Year's.
Oh, yeah, we're going to fall back first. We've got an extra hour of sleep tomorrow night.
Well, I won't complain about that.
But 2014 is like, what, 60 days out, and we'll be in a new year.
Can't believe it.
Time is moving. But we're moving too. The commissioners have moved out after January. Wow, has it been a fast year.
Yeah.
We have been so active, all 7 commissioners, and we went last week to the State of the Military, at Goldsboro Country Club.
Mm-hmm.
The Colonel Levitt talked about the state of the military and where Seymour Johnson was, and the city. Of course, Scott Stevens did a great job in giving his. Then I came in there with about 8 minutes to give my little speech, but we've got a little slide presentation that was put together, and I sort of wanted to go over that with you.
Well, good.
We've got more than 8 minutes this morning, so
right.
We want the people, the commissioners want the people of Wayne County to see through our broadcasting is that this is what Wayne County's been doing this year, and this is just a few of the things I wanted to highlight this morning. But I appreciate you letting me come in, Wayne.
We will now turn the program over to Chairman Keene, and the floor is yours, sir. You go right ahead.
Well, I'll start with of course, Wayne County, the good life grown here. What's so exciting about Wayne County is that it's 122,000 people strong. We have over 8,000 veterans. We've had a area of concern where the commissioners felt that we weren't doing the best we could do. We've got a good VSO officer in Ms. Moore, but we felt like we need to get her and get the veterans in a bigger place, curb appeal, bright, new, and we've moved the location to Ash Street, next to the senior center. It's easy to find. It's right down from the base. We have found the services that are available for our veterans. We want to make sure that is a quality of service that is second to none, and that Wayne County is going to do its best. We have an advisory board that's put together. Bill Pate is doing a great job with that, and he works along with the advisory board. The advisory board works with Ms. Moore and the Veteran Service Officer, and all of a sudden we have 40, 60, 80 people wanting to be a part of this advisory board. We kicked it off. We had 40 people to attend, 40 veterans to attend. But you've got 122,000 people in the county. You've got 560 square miles in our county, and we've got over 60,000 parcels. So we are a big county, and a $7 billion county, and just a lot going on. And we look at the veterans and look at that's the heart. These people have served, but we think we got a great location, and we've done well with that. The commissioner, Andy Anderson, for many years has pushed to have a veterans cemetery, and he's gone to Washington D.C. a couple of 3 or 4 times in the last couple of years. And he's pushed it, and all of a sudden here we are. We have a possibility of $6 million from the federal government. The state has allocated $600,000 grant, seed money, to make it happen. And all of a sudden, out here on Highway 70, down from Long's Plant Farm, we've got about 60, 70 acres out there that we're looking to turn that into a state veterans cemetery. But we're excited. It becomes a destination. Certainly, these men and women give their lives, and to provide them with a cemetery, a resting place for their family members, and of course, when this becomes a reality, we're going to see probably $10, $12 million more put into the economy just because we have the state cemetery right here in Wayne County. As you know, transportation, Wayne, is very close to my heart. Since '08, I've been working on that, and I've worked on the transportation part with our past commissioner, Jack Best, has worked very well in that and put the MPO and the RPO coalition. He was very instrumental in that. We have Joe Daugherty, who's heading up our transportation committee now. We're working closely with the city of Goldsboro. Chuck Allen has been a real big part of that transportation part. But we're understanding that Wayne County is just not a county of roads, but it has, Wayne, we have 117, we have Highway 13, 111, 581, 222, 55, Highway 70, and let's talk about 70 for a minute. It was originally thought that it was going to be 2035 before it was completed. The past commission, Mr. Best and some others in Raleigh, had that moved up to 2015. So we're looking probably in the summer of 2015 having that bypass completed. Now we're doing a comprehensive land use plan in Wayne County, and we're going to look at these interchanges. We're going to look at 795-40 connector. So there's a study is being done by a Cambridge company, and they are looking at the economic impact analysis for 795-40 and the interchanges. So we're excited. 795 being right there in Goldsboro, 4 blocks from downtown Goldsboro. That's pretty impressive. And it's going to save about 20 minutes from vehicles running from 40. Instead of going to 95, they'll be able to take 795 and run north. About 20 minute savings there on time in one way. Municipalities, Wayne, as you know, we've had our meetings with Seven Springs and Eureka, Fremont, Pikeville, Mount Olive, Walnut Creek, Goldsboro. We've had all of our municipalities to meet in September. We're listening to each of their concerns, their tax base. Some of those have an eroding tax base. They're losing population. They're not staying, and the municipalities are telling us that this is their tax base. This is how they operate. And as we go through our municipalities, we're finding that the roads are important. The infrastructure is really important, water and sewer, and how we're going to intertwine and mix with our comprehensive land use plan. This comprehensive land use plan was done in 08, 09, and we've done, I remember back in the planning board back in 02 and 03, but the way that we're looking at infrastructure today is just changed. We have to have a new look, in particular with the interchanges. We have to understand how the sewer is going to affect businesses, how these communities can grow. We're looking at how the gas, the natural gas, how these interchanges either can be residential, they can be commercial, they can be distribution, manufacturing, and we have to look and the landowners, these people who have land, we want to work with them. We want to know what they have planned. We're very, very concerned about agriculture, and we'll see that. There you go, agriculture, and let's move through this. 700 and I know it's $72 billion to the state's economy, but what does it mean to Wayne County? Wayne County, it's about $735 million, and of course, Seymour Johnson is about $530 million, and Commerce says it turns over about 4.2 times before it leaves the county. But you've got over $700 million that stays actually longer in agriculture, because you're investing those funds into property, your barns and shelters, the equipment that you buy, all the tractors, all of the implements that you purchase, stays right here and adds to the tax base. So we're excited now. What is really exciting, we have just allocated $2 million for a regional research ag center. it's a regional, not Wayne County. Now we have the Wayne Center that was built some years ago, but we're looking at an agricultural center regionally, and looking into research and finding the resources that surround agriculture, whether it's animals, poultry, it could be feed, you name it. If it potatoes, peanuts, what, you just name it. And we're hoping that we can take this facility and get it on the CES farm, keep it on the research farm, and have a beautiful building. Now, we did put $2 million in as seed money. It's about a $12 to $14 million project. We're hoping that the House members and Senate members that represent our county will go to Raleigh and have that conveyed. We've talked to Secretary Troxler. He's excited about it. We're just, this is something that has been championed back before I was even elected in '08. It goes back to Howard Scott back in '04 and '05, so it's been on the radar a long time. What pushes me and pushes the commissioners is the agribusiness. We have 5 homegrown here, as I've shown. We have Case Farms, Goldsboro Milling, Mount Olive Pickle, Georgia Pacific, Franklin Bacon, and Mission Foods. Homegrown, right? Just homegrown right here in Wayne County, and tied right into agriculture. So we'll have that represented also in our Ag Center. Schools. What's so good about these commissioners is that we've been able to get alongside the Board of Education. And we wanted to know what the Board of Education has plans. We want to see actually the plans that they have on paper. We want to know the buildings, the bricks and mortar. A lot of bricks and mortar there are in Wayne County, but they're old. There just needs to be, we want to we want to set a new bar. And we're trying to do that in conjunction with talking to the Board of Education, asking them what do they need in their facilities. And we've put together a 10-year plan for a capital plan for the county. We've included the community college. We've gone over, even though it's private, we've gone to Mount Olive College. Dr. Kirkstatter and got his vision and how it's going to mesh with Mount Olive. We've gone to Dr. Kay Albertson, talked to her about Wayne Community College and how it meshes with Goldsboro and how that partnership, and we're excited about Wayne Community College, and we're excited about the schools and the buildings, and we're excited about the whole educational process. So how is it's best for the county and the commissioners to be able to see the vision and how we set that in motion. One of my favorite slides is this. Can you imagine all of these kids that are coming in from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, and they're sitting in a classroom, and it's a geography class, and they're saying, well, where's Syria? Where's Afghanistan? Where's Iraq? You know, and all these kids are going up. I can tell you, and they're military kids, and these kids they're sharp. I mean, they bring a whole new concept into the classroom, and the teacher just sits back and says, wow, I got some smart kids. And then you've got the other kids out there saying, hey, where does milk come from? And somebody, oh, Food Line, Walmart, you know, Carly C's. No. You've got farmers' kids that bring agriculture. And you've got those kids that come in and they know where the cheese comes from, and the milk, and the barbecue, and the swine, and the turkeys. And I mean, there's a mix. And that's huge when you bring that mix into the classroom. So you've got those kids that are mingling, and not only that, too, in the students we have a lot of ways to educate children, but these kids, you have kids that are less fortunate from the inner city schools. You have kids that are outside in the rural area that families have done well and they can afford, but then you have those kids in the same classroom, and we think we are moving ahead in education. We really do. We're on board. And of course, our base. You can almost get emotional when you look at Seymour Johnson and how they train so hard, and they are in the community, and they understand that they understand that they're in a community that trusts them, and we do trust them. They've trained hard. They have given a lot of their time. They give their heart, but they do play an active role in protecting us. But we also want them to know that they can trust us when they leave, when they're deployed, when their mission carries them out of the county or out of the state or out of the country, is that there's people back here in this community that we embrace them, and we embrace them, their children, and safety, providing a safe environment, providing good water and good sewer, and providing good schools, providing quality of life, whether it be sports, getting them out into the agriculture area, and doing all these things. And we just remain a strong advocate of the base, and we do that locally. We certainly do it regionally and nationally, but locally we do it through the Military Affairs Committee. And the leaders like Ben Seegers and Jimmy Edmondson and Henry Smith, Tony Worrell. But then you go back to the Freddie Farrells and the Troy Pates, and you think of what Darby Woods and Hal Tanners, and you go back in the 80s, 79, 80, 82, when those guys were going at it hard. And these fellows here have taken this Military Affairs Committee, and they're staying the course. They're staying the course. So we're all the wind turbine project, of course, that was going to affect our flight and our mission, the Dare Range. As the colonel said the other day, they fly at like 500 feet, and these wind turbines are about 498 feet, and it's about a 2-foot difference there. And these guys are flying fast, 9 miles a second. 9 miles a second. That's how fast these F-15s can fly. So we do the Military Affairs Committee certainly does what they can. I don't know if that's
I think
that's sort of
that's about it.
I've rambled.
Well, no, that's all right. You brought some good information to you to the listeners and viewers here. Steve, we've covered a lot of ground. I wanted to ask you if we could back up just a moment.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you about the military cemetery that was proposed by and worked on by Andy Andrews for so long. And man, I'll tell you what, commissioners are behind this thing. You guys support this cemetery. The cemetery is a federal cemetery that will be coming to Wayne County.
It's federally funded, but
Federally funded.
we're going to call it. It's going to be called a state cemetery.
It'll be a state cemetery,
right?
State military.
There's 5 or 6. I don't know exactly how many there are in the state, but this is be on eastern North Carolina. I think there's one in Jacksonville. Close.
There is one. In fact, I have visited that one in Jacksonville. And in Jacksonville, of course, military town that Jacksonville is, much as Goldsboro is, they get a tremendous number of people from all over the country visiting Jacksonville. As there are quite a few, of course, it's a military cemetery. It brings a lot of attention to the military community if there's a cemetery there. It also brings people in from all around the country who are honoring those who have passed, and some, of course, who died during the course of their service to our nation. But it also brings in, these people have to stay somewhere when they're visiting, and they have to eat somewhere. So they're actually bringing revenue to the county as well while they're visiting their loved ones at the cemeteries.
They do. We were told, had a meeting yesterday with the State Department, and had Wayne Peden here and the Director of Veteran Affairs, and of the state, and we were told that they have a service at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Wow. That's their time.
Wow.
And the families have to come outside the county, and they have to stay somewhere, have to eat somewhere.
Right.
So it for tourism as a tourism, but it adds to those who come into the county and spend.
That's wonderful.
We need the sales tax receipts. We have to build our sales tax base. Retail sales are flat in the last 2 years. So what we've in our budget, we have looked at the sales tax receipts. again, you know, we're down about $3.5 million where we were 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. You know, you made a comment at one of the meetings I was at one time about, you know, county commissioners are very concerned about sales tax receipts, and you were kind of making a funny about it, but you're right. That is bottom line. You're concerned about the growth of the county and the revenue coming into the county to keep the county up.
We eat, drink, and sleep property tax values
Yes.
and sales tax receipts.
Right.
The commissioners, we have control over the tax rate, and right now we're the #1 county has the highest tax reduction in the state.
In all 100 counties.
All 100 counties, we reduced our tax rate down to 66 cents per 100, like it was in 03 in pre-recession. So we had the highest drop of any county in the state.
In 03,
percentage-wise.
that's 10 years ago.
That's correct. We're right back. Now we've had a 17% increase in our property value. We went from $6.8 billion up to a little over $7 billion. That's what our county's worth if we had to put it on the market today. But we eat, drink, and sleep property tax values and sales tax receipts. Now when we look at the interchanges and look at Highway 70, now this is important. We can't have any governance, we can't have any pushback to develop these communities. Okay. We have to designate these communities. We have to look at property values. It's going to increase the property value, which increases the return on the investment of the county. And we don't have to raise taxes for everybody in the county. If we know that a 3/4 acre piece of property that's worth $2,000 can be worth $1 million, well, you just divide that by 100 times 66 cents, and you'll see that the difference between $85 and $9,200.
Right.
So you've put that building, that footprint on that 3/4 of an acre, and you've got to do that at every interchange. You've got to look at commercial properties that will be sold for $1 million.
Wow.
And it was worth $5,000. Now you say, well, it takes agriculture out. Well, it did in that one spot, but to protect agriculture around it, you have to concentrate on that one piece within a mile, because people are going to drive by and they're going to say, well, you know, Dad, Mom, I got to go to the restroom. Can you pull over? Well, we're in intersection right down here. We'll pull over, you know. And of course, while you're there, you're going to buy your gas. You're going to buy your Cokes, Pepsis, Nabs, or whatever. Yeah, you're going to buy hamburgers. Right. So you're going to have all of what you need at that interchange, and of course at the next interchange you're going to have residential people that live there to travel outside or wherever they're going to go to work, but they're going to come right back. Now you've got a distribution place at the next interchange because of where it's located. Right. You can have industrial parks, because trucks can come on and off. But the whole thing is that you have looked at those interchanges, you've put infrastructure at those interchanges, and they're designed to make money. They're designed by the commission to recognize these areas as profit centers for the county. And if we can increase our tax base, our property value, we don't have to raise taxes.
You know, I've heard the argument, and you have cleared this up for me. I have heard the argument that, you know, you put a highway in there, you're taking away farmland. And you just explained to me that if you put a highway in there, then you're bringing in commerce as well. So you're not really losing revenue dollar-wise. You may be displacing some farmland, but you're actually gaining.
What you've done is the use creates the market. What is the use? The use are the cars. Highway 70 has right now has about 40, some places up in excess of 50,000 cars per day on 70.
Wow.
A quarter mile each side, you have 4,000 employees. You have 327 businesses. So naturally, the commercial properties are going at 700, 800,000, $1 million. The use creates the market. The market creates the value. What is the use? Cars. Creates the market. Gas. Sales. Restaurants. Market creates the value. The value creates the income. The dollars. That's the value. So now we are moving that to an overpass, and not a bypass. And then when you have the bypass, you say, well, we want interchanges. We don't want a bypass with no interchanges.
That's right. We
got to have
those interchanges. Yeah.
Right. and we have to designate those. So the infrastructure, that's where economic development starts.
Wow. All right. Fascinating. The presentation was very informative. There's a lot going on in Wayne County, and I would certainly invite everyone to come to the county commissioners' meetings, wouldn't you?
Yeah, first and third Tuesday in every month, starting at 8 o'clock.
That's right.
In the mornings.
The briefings start at 8 o'clock. The meeting itself starts at 9 o'clock, and everybody's invited to attend. It's an open meeting.
Wayne, we really appreciate being able to broadcast this live. We appreciate y'all doing what you're doing and putting these together, and Donald and Barbara, and the way you guys, the professionalism, y'all are polished, and you're putting this together, and people all over the state, when I go to the association meetings, they're saying, tell us how you are getting the word out. Tell us how the people of the county are knowing what y'all are doing. So we have a TV station.
There you go.
You know, we're streaming live on the internet.
Yes, we
and
are.
I've had people to call me and say, I just saw the meeting. Guys, you got it going on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your kind words, and I thank you very much. And but I'll tell you this: if Wayne County is growing, Wayne County is headed in the right direction, and it's because of the citizenry and because of good leadership. And I thank you very much.
Thanks, Wayne.
Chairman of the Board of Wayne County Commissioners, Steve Keene. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Wayne.